So this is the second part of how to get started, and it includes a description of how I have the Beacon Learning site set up. I always encourage the students to read the course syllabus. It gives you an idea of, again, the grading that I just showed you on the previous video, and the usual information about academic honesty and that sort of thing. And a repeat of kind of what I have shown you, but it's always a good idea to read the course syllabus. So, as I alluded to in the previous video, you should take a look at the study plan. Again, there are terms to answer, and there's questions called concepts to understand. And the questions I'm interested in you answering when you submit it is the concepts to understand. But it's going to be to your advantage to define the terms as you go through the book as well. Now, if there's a term that you already understand, that might be a waste of your time to answer that. You'll get a better feel for that as time goes on. The thing that some students do is on the concepts to understand, I say be able to label a diagram. Some people will copy the image of the diagram from the ebook and paste it into their study guide so that or study plan, so that when they do take the exams and quizzes, it's right there in front of them and they don't have to page through the book. Now, if you come across some of the questions and you're not sure how their answer or even what the question is asking, you can always email me, or I will have forums set up where you can go in there and say, hey, I don't understand this particular question. Was this the answer for which you were looking? That sort of thing. So I always recommend pray before taking the quiz for understanding and the ability to remember things. And then you want to take your first chapter quiz, or whichever week you're on that particular quiz. Again, review the material. There will be, next to each question will be a little box that says you got 0.67 points out of 1 point total, or you got 1 out of 1. So focus on the 0.67 out of 1 versus the 1 out of 1 because you already got it right. And then go back and retake the quiz after you've had a chance to figure out what the answer was for the ones that you missed. Now, there will occasionally be a question that I have to grade by hand, and I can't, I grade them when I can. If you take the quiz earlier in the week and wait on your second attempt, there's a good chance I'll have it graded before your second attempt, and you can see, oh, he didn't like my answer, or I didn't answer it completely. Sometimes the questions are 2 parts and you need to answer both parts. So, same thing, lather, rinse, repeat for chapter 2, and so on through the entire 8-week course. Anyway, like I said, there's going to be forums open for you to ask questions. And there's actually a forum that you start off with where you introduce yourself to the other students. We're doing the best to make this an online community where you can all send, post messages in the forum and help other people read them. This Big Blue Button session I've mentioned before is an online, it's sort of like Skype if you want to think of it that way, but it gets recorded and I can post those recordings into Beacon Learning so that if you can't make it to a meeting, you can log in and see if there was anything that you missed. Now, if nobody logs in within the first 10 minutes of when they're scheduled, I usually shut it down because they are meetings, sort of like I said, meetings with you. And if nobody's going to be able to make those or don't have any questions, there's no point in me sitting at my computer not doing anything for an hour or so. I've also posted videos. I used to do these videos in Big Blue Button, but then I recorded them so that you can listen to them whenever you want to. They are to help clarify some of the stuff in the book. And you'll come across that when you get to the chapter on the cell organization, because the book doesn't do a very good job. And I give you some more information to give you a better appreciation of some of the things that go on. And there is some application. It's like, why is it important to know this? Well, it's important to know all the different structures so that we can understand like how insulin is made and how that translates to the biotech industry where they make things, proteins that can be used to help treat people's various conditions. So now I'm going to move on to the Beacon Learning. When you log in to NCU, you'll get a page like this where it has My Courses, My NCU, and Help Desk. You're going to want to go to My Courses, and then it will show you your courses, and then they'll show you various terms. At least they do on the instructors page. So what you're going to want to do is look for the particular course or term in which you're in. And the particular one that I'm doing is now for the fall of 2018. I plan on using this recording for future, so it may be spring of 2019, summer of 2019, whatever. So you click on the appropriate term. Now I have both adult degree program classes, which this is a part of, and I have undergrad classes. But you're interested in the ADP class, so you click on it, and you'll see here that you should probably have two choices. These are grayed out because I haven't opened them up yet to the students, but they will be open when you start taking the class, and they'll be in this regular dark versus being shaded. Now you have both 130 and 130L. I am not using 130L. I've moved everything from the lab into the lecture, so everything is there, and you only have to go to one site instead of going back and forth. And I think it's going to make it a little easier for you to miss something. So when you click on the course, you'll see here that I have an introductory page that's called Resources. It gives you a little introduction to the class, pretty much what you've seen in the videos. The syllabus will be there. I also have the syllabus for 130. I do have it listed separately, so you can see how the course is graded. But then I have a combined schedule, so you would click on that, and my suggestion is if you have a printer to go ahead and print it out, or if nothing else, post everything on your telephone, your cell phone, so that you know when various things are due. I have the URL for the Connect site. That's where you're going to go to get the book. So you would click on it, goes to Connect, and this one's going to go directly. And here you will sign in for the either sign in for the class or register for the class. But anyway, that's where you get the ebook. Then I have of course, the videos that you're watching. So you somehow managed to get here before you saw these things. And you can see I have a big blue button scheduled for Monday. I believe I have it set at 8 p.m. But then you will go, after you take a look at that, and that's where I have the questions and answer forums and announcements, that sort of thing. You can also see that over here on the side I have forums, and if you click on the forums you can see there's an introduce yourself forum, and that's where you introduce yourself as little or as much as you want to, but I would like for you to say hi to the other students at least, if nothing else. But then you can go back and you can see here that we go to week 1. And then under week 1, a little introduction to it. Actually, here you have the other link to introduce yourself forum. Then you have the study plans that you can download, and then you submit it through this other link right here once you have answered everything. The 2 quizzes are there, and then on this particular week you have a lab in LearnSmart, and when you go to the LearnSmart site you'll see which lab is due first. And it's also listed on the schedule. And then you have the various ones in the Beacon Learning module that I was talking about earlier. So if, as an example, let's go to this 2.1. I'm just going to use preview quiz now. I don't think it's one of your options. I think it's just mine because I'm the instructor. But you can see there's a question. I give you some reading, some images and that sort of thing. And then I have some questions for you to answer. And so you go through them. You won't. You have a question that you have to type in an answer, and that's not going to get graded right away, but the others will. And then once you've completed those questions, you'd go back and review it and then work on improving your score, just like you would with another one of the chapter quizzes, that sort of thing. And then next week you go to week 2, you see the same thing, and then you have a number of helpful videos, at least I hope they're helpful for you. And then when you go to week 3, you'll see you have your first exam. I've got some advice on that, on how to do that. And then you also see that you have the 2 quizzes, again, what labs you need to work on. So I think that's going to help you, I hope. And again, welcome to the class.